Well, despite the government shutdown, the Supreme Court opened its doors today. The court is scheduled to look at a number of significant cases, including one that's of interest to legal scholars. KPFT local news reporter David Rozicki is live in the studio with more. David.
Marlo, justices have agreed to take a look at a case that could mean big changes for affirmative action. On October 15th, provided the court remains open, the justices will consider whether the state of Michigan violated the Equal Protection Clause by amending its state constitution to prohibit affirmative action. Last year, a federal appeals court concluded the state's affirmative action ban, which was passed by Michigan voters in a 2006 referendum, violated the U.S. Constitution's equal protection laws. South Texas College of Law dean and constitutional law expert Professor Gerald Treese says the justice's decision could change affirmative action across the nation as we know it.
Many people who are listening to this could say, didn't we just have an affirmative action case out of Texas last term? We did. But it didn't decide anything. It just sent the case back to the Fifth Circuit. What this case will do, I think, is be a better barometer of whether or not affirmative action can be banned totally of all types of affirmative action, or whether or not the court will favor affirmative action. Since the court has not favored affirmative action, except in a couple limited cases the last 15 years, I'm watching it to see if the court is going to end affirmative action in state universities, since it's already ended about everywhere else in the government, and there may be enough votes to do that. So that's one of the 12 really hot cases that I'm tracking in constitutional law for the court's term beginning today.
Professor Treese says this Michigan case differs from the case that came out of Texas last term involving a University of Texas student.
The Sixth Circuit federal court in Michigan's already held that the law as enacted by the people is unconstitutional. They said it goes too far, it sweeps too far, and if it says there could be a need for some affirmative action somewhere. And so it's possible the court can do with the case in Michigan what it did with the case in Texas and send it back, but it's less likely because we're talking about a total ban. The Fisher case was a case where the University of Texas was charged with inverse or reverse discrimination. She was a white girl that said her seat went to a less qualified minority candidate. We're talking in Michigan about a whole ban. The court usually doesn't like bans on anything that have to do with protection of the Constitution. So they may send it back, but I doubt it. I just think there's a good chance that we'll get a thumbs up or thumbs down on where we stand on affirmative action. We certainly did not get it this term in the Fisher case.
The Supreme Court justices say they will be in session at least through this week. After Friday, no one's sure what's going to happen as a result of the partial government shutdown. Professor Treese says he believes the Supreme Court will keep working due to the importance of their work despite the shutdown. Back to you, Marlo.
Well, thank you, David. Thank you for that report.